In this video guide, we're going to see how we can model a column like this using different tools in Blender. We're going to use some loop tools and also some extra tools and some booleans. So let's get started. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new general scene so we can all see everything together. Now for the base of the column, I can use a box, but in this case, I want to do everything from the beginning. So I'm going to delete also this box and I'm going to start by adding a simple plane. So this is going to be the base of our column. And then I want to copy this. So I want to do Control C, Control V. I want to copy this up like this. I can also do like an extrusion if I want. That's fine, but I'm going to show you other tools that like are less popular. So to have the column, I also need circles. So the first part will be squared, and then I will have circles. So I'm going to go to Add, Mesh, and Add Mesh and Circle. And this one here, I'm going to bring it up here. Now this one needs to be really close to the other shape. So you can switch to the 2D view to be more precise. Okay. And the other one can be just a little bit up above. So I'm going to go to Control C, Control V again, and that's it. That's the other circle. Now we're going to continue later, but right now let's focus on these 4 shapes. Now, in order to use the loft that I want to use, I need to have the add-on turned on. So I'm going to go to Edit, Preferences, and I'm going to go to Add-ons, and you need to search for the LoopTools. And you may also want to look at the editing tools, the Edit Mesh tools, and also you can use the Bool tools. Now make sure you have these 3 activated. They are already pre-installed in Blender, and I've also dedicated other videos to these other add-ons in the specific. So check out the video guides and the video course in Blender that you find in the channel. If you have like problems in these first steps, you want to see some more basic stuff, you can check out the video guides and the Blender basic video course. So I want to join all these together now. So I'm going to select all of those and do Ctrl J, or I can right click and do join. Now, once they're joined together, I'm going to go in the edit mode, and I want to get rid of this face right here just to show you better what I'm doing. So I'm going to press X and delete only the face. So be careful, press X and do only faces. You can see I've also deleted the bottom face there. So now I can use the select mode and select all the edges right here. Now you can try to do a loft and see how it's going to work. And if it doesn't work correctly, you can also do like one by one. So for example, these two can be easily bridged together or lofted together. So if I select only these squares down there, I can bridge them. Or I can use maybe these 3. So if something goes wrong, try to reduce the number of profiles that you're using. Make sure that all the segments are selected and go for the loft. Okay, now it's working. So you can see, yeah, it's missing here something. So be careful. Everything needs to be in the selection. So I'm gonna go to do the loft again. Okay, now you can see that it's lofting the square and it's making it become a circle. And then I can adjust this loop. So I can go here to select, and I can select the edge loop, and I can push this. Well, this needs to be like the same height of this element right here. So if I go to item here, this is the value that I want. So I'm gonna do Control C and then go back here and select the edge loop and do Control V. So you have many ways you can do things in Blender. And perhaps here I can just take this border and I can extrude it down. That's going to be another option to extrude things. If things are straight, it's pretty easy because you can come here and just I'm going to extrude it. I can also use the snaps here when I need to place these. If I want to place it like correctly on a vertex. So I'm gonna snap to this vertex. Okay, and also I can close down there. If I right click, I can do new face from edges or fill. And yeah, this doesn't work. So let's see if we are actually selecting everything. So let's try with the new face from edge. Okay, now this is working. So you have multiple options. You better try with in different ways. Okay, now this column doesn't have this straight part. It has like something that is more curvy. So if I start with this and I go to select the edge loop, I can bring this down a little bit. And then I can continue with the extrusion. So I can do extrude. And if you fill this up with again the new face from edge, you can also use the mesh tools, and you have something really useful, which is called the multiple extrusion or multi-extrude. So you can see I can choose an offset here, and I can start to repeat the extrusion. So if I take, for example, one edge loop from here, so let me select this. Let's say that I want this one here, and select the edge loop. I can scale this, and I can do this pretty straight like that, or I can use proportional editing. And when I use proportional editing, well, make sure you adjust the size so you can see I can do something more rounded. But I definitely need more subdivisions there. So this is, some examples that I'm showing you on how you can model your column. Now, what I'm gonna do here is use another technique. So let me go back right here where I was, and then I'm gonna extrude just a little bit. Okay, and then I'm gonna scale this with the scale tool. I'm gonna scale it, and I want to turn off proportional editing again, otherwise it's gonna affect everything that's around there. Okay, I need to create a torus, which is something more curvy. So I'm gonna extrude this again. Okay, and I want to turn off the snap now, and then extrude it again just a little bit, and then scale it again with the scale tool. Okay, I can also use the top view if I want to be more precise. You can see that. All right, so to make this rounded, I want to select this edge and this other one right here, and then again select the loop, and then I can use the bevel. This is another really useful option. If you bevel, you can have something pretty straight like this, or you can add segments. And the moment you add segments, you're gonna have something more and more rounded, which is gonna be good for our torus. Now, maybe the base is too small. So if I want to change that, I can take those faces right there, and I can like extrude them a little bit. But this time I'm gonna use the extrude along normal like that. So I can have some extra space. Okay, so I have like the base of the column. You can do it however you want. Now, how do I continue the column? Well, I can use this edge again. And if I don't want to like fill the middle and then extrude it, I can use other techniques if I want. So I'm gonna go here to select the edge loop. And I think I'm seeing something strange down there, like extra faces. So those can be deleted. Otherwise, they could cause issues if you want to create like a solid. Okay. So select again the loop, edge loop. So I either extrude this again with the extrude region and do the same exact technique, or another way I can do this is again with the loft or the bridge. So if I want this to copy this, if I want to extract this, I can right click and I can do separate selection, or I can try with a split. So the split will create, you can see here, an extra ring, but it's going to stay inside the object. If I do, again, separate selection, it's going to create another object. So I need to go outside to see it. So you can see this is the first one, this is the other one. So I can push it up, and then I need to join them together again. So select everything and join. So now we have this extra circle that we can use. Again, I want to like bring it a little bit down. So we'll push it like somewhere right here. And so I have this one here and this one here, and I go to select edge loop, and I can do bridge. Now, when I do bridge here using the LoopTools, I can increase the segments, and I can also change the strength, and it should create something like more curvy actually. But if I want to do that, I can just pick the middle one, and again select loop, use proportional editing again, like sphere, something like that, and try to move this, to scale this really small. So it just need to be there. You can see it's creating something like a torus again. So that's another way. Or let me just again select. And sometimes I like to apply my transformation. So I go to object, apply all transforms. So when things get like strange, I used to do that. So let me just select again this loop, and now we're gonna separate it again. So you can see it created another one. I need to go outside. I will push it up. I will join everything together again. Ctrl J. Okay, and then let's select this one and select this one, and again do the loop selection. And now let's use the loft. Okay, you can see if I use the loft, I can adjust the strength, and it's giving me like some sort of curve also right here. So that's another option again. So these are 3 different options to do similar things, not exactly the same, but similar things that, of course, then we can adjust. Okay, now I want to select the border again. And so let's do select loop. Let's extrude this. And let's make the rest of the column. So I'm just gonna go a little bit inside here with the scale. Just a little bit. Okay, you can see the effect now is pretty strange and really curvy. And now let's extrude this all the way up. So I'm trying to, well, you can extrude like this, or you can fill that up and extrude it, but let's do it like this for now. And I want a base here, like it's gonna be simple, and then I want to extrude an extra part, and I want to create like the carvings on the pillar, on the column. So I want to select all these faces right here on the top, and I want to do this with the inset face, and that's gonna be like individual inset. There you go. Doesn't need to be too big. It's gonna be like pretty small. And then I'm gonna extrude inside, so extrude with the along normal. There you go. Okay, now that we have this, we can press Ctrl+ to expand the selection and select only this part right here. And I want to separate that again. So I will go here and separate selection. So this will create another object. And why do I want to do that? Because I want to increase the subdivisions right here. I can also increase the subdivisions on other part of the model, but let's focus on this one here. So I'm gonna go to modifier, and I'm gonna add some subdivision surface modifier. And I wanna increase more and more and more until I'm satisfied with the quality. Well, let's say that this is fine enough. Okay, but it's kind of too stretched. So we can fix this again many ways. So one thing we could try is to insert some loop cuts. Loop cut and again edge looping are really important. So make sure you add this loop cut in the good position. So I want to place it there, and then with the factor you can move it down or you can move it up. So in this case I'm going to move it down, and you can see now it looks better. I can control the effect down there. So it's really important where you place it. Let's say that this is fine. And then you can do the same thing on the top, but on the top I want to do something else. I want to do a boolean and create a cut. So let me just see this. Okay, one thing, we need to reattach this one here with this one here if you want to create like a single object. So let me show you again that you can do it with the bridge or with the loft. So also let's apply this transformation. Let's do apply the subdivision so that we can actually select those borders. So I'm gonna select that one and this one. You can see that we have many more. Oh, sorry, we need to join everything together first. So 1 and 2, Control J. So if you see carefully, we have a lot of subdivisions here, but it's kind of high poly. The upper part is high poly, the lower part is low poly. So we probably need to increase this to make it look better, but it's gonna be fine for this. You just need more segments when you create the circles or the cylinders or whatever, but we can still do it. So if I do select and again the edge loop, we can try to bridge, and or we can try to loft. And here I don't wanna use the strength here. Let's do this 0 and segments 1 is gonna be fine. And that's it. So you can see it's connecting those two parts together so that it's just one object. And now let's finish up with the cut. I don't want to create the whole column, so I'm also gonna deactivate the wireframe here in the visualization. So I can also do another thing actually. If I want, I can use the proportional editing. Well, let me create the cut first. So if I create a box, okay. So if I want to create a straight cut, I can do like this. If I want to do something more like strange, like something that is like this, I can do it, and I also scale it a little bit up. I don't want to cut too much. Let's say that I want to cut right there. So hold shift, select the second one, and now we can use the boolean. So bool tool, difference, and that's it. This is like the cuts on the column. And as I said before, if I now select this phase, I can use also proportional editing. So I can like perhaps bring this a little bit down or up. And I can use different type of deformation. Well, be careful not to deform everything. And that's it. So, or you can just extrude, continue the extrusion. Make sure you extrude on the global axis. So not like this, but we want global. Okay, and now you can move the top part again using global, and you can make this as high as you want. But again, these are just examples. If you enjoy the video, please subscribe to the channel, and if you want to support us, if you want to thank us, join the channel as a supporter. Check our other video guides, video courses in the channel. So that's it. Thanks for watching. This is our column right here. And let's render here nicely with cycles. I'm also gonna deactivate the scene wall here and decrease the strength of the HRI so I have a nice render of my column.